Hi, I'm Simon.
Hi, I'm Emily.
And today we're going to talk about augmented reality.
Woo! So, if you watched our video on virtual reality, you will remember this beautiful book here called Virtual Reality Through the New Looking Glass by Pimentel and Teixeira. So, in here we have a wonderful 93 definition of augmented reality. And it says this: augmented reality. This is the use of transparent glasses on which data can be projected. This allows for the user to work on a car, for example, and have the data needed displayed on the glasses while still seeing the car. Very, very much like Google Glass, if you think about it. Duh. Basically what their vision was, where you would look through these lenses and it would just like project the data onto the lens, and then like you'd be working on a car and a little schematic of like the parts and stuff. Some part could be not visible and hidden behind another part, but your glasses could tell you it's there.
Oh yeah.
Super awesome.
It's a cool concept. A more current definition of what augmented reality is, according to MichèLe Richter on MosaicHUB.com. Augmented reality is a live, direct, or indirect view of a physical, real-world environment whose elements are augmented or supplemented by computer-generated sensory inputs such as sounds, videos, graphics, or GPS data, stuff like that. So, similar to the 93 kind of definition, but a little bit more broad in a sense. It's the interactive aspect with digital, information, not strictly on a display such as glasses, but just in general. So that's a current definition of augmented reality. See, people think augmented reality is this far-fetched future concept where we're gonna have interactive media in our lives, and our tables are gonna be made out of computer screens. But it's really not that far-fetched. Yeah, I mean my iPad, it's essentially augmented reality. I am interacting with the data right now on my iPad. But things that people, don't think about very often, like if I'm watching a football game, they have the score on the top, they have real-time, icons following the players, little stats and stuff being constantly updated in real time as I'm watching live footage, and that in and of itself is augmented reality. There's information in coupling with this live footage that I'm viewing.
Another thing of augmented reality that I feel like we don't think about a lot is like when you're playing on the computer and you pull up like the photo booth with your friends in middle school. I totally did this on all of my friends' computers. And they had this thing that you could put on like weird hairstyles and hats and stuff. And like it wouldn't just like sit in the middle of the screen, like it would follow your head around until like you got it. But that is definitely augmented reality.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, you're interacting with a kind of digital thing, but while still viewing live footage of yourself.
Yeah, I wasn't actually wearing a hat.
No.
Now, I personally know at least 6 constellations whenever I look up at the nighttime sky.
Good for you, because I don't.
Like, I am fascinated with the stars, but like my friend pulls out this app and they just like find all the little constellations by moving their smartphone around, and that was the most fascinating piece of augmented reality that I'd gotten to experience. So I feel like augmented reality is just a lot broader than what 93 saw.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I think augmented reality is really cool.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of speculation, a lot of concerns by a lot of people. I've read a couple, blog posts and just like people's opinions online, and one of the kind of ethical questions was surrounding like vandalism. Like, say I have this like Google Glass, for example. Say I use Google Glass and I'm walking around interacting with the world, but having digital input being fed to me simultaneously. And say I see a building and I can post digitally something on that building that is offensive or something like that. Like, is it ethically wrong for me to do that? Just because it's world, but it's also very much in the physical world as we interact with it. Is that ethically wrong?
Well, that's like really interesting because like I feel like there are almost like two sides to this. Because like there's definitely the side where, especially with Google Glass, if you're actually looking at the building, this thing pops up and it's attached to it, but the building, like people themselves didn't really necessarily want it there. That like leans on the side of graffiti and like vandalizing, and like that's definitely kind of pushing into this territory where it's like, yeah, there's something wrong about that. You can't just go around putting stuff into other people's property in a sense. Like that's their property. That kind of also pushes into like, I don't know, like you'd have to define that that's their virtual space and that belongs to them virtually in the virtual world, because really in reality, like people already do that. They don't do that in the same like kind of a virtual reality sense of like Google Glass, but like you go on Yelp, you go to a restaurant, whatever the Yelp reviews say about this restaurant, that's gonna stand as its reputation. I'm not gonna care about the sign out front of the building that says we have the #1 food in the state when all of the Yelp reviews say ew, gross, bad customer service, never go there again. So I feel like that already happens, and we've kind of already accepted that in our culture. Yes, we, as like me as an individual, I want to be able to control how everybody views me and everyone views my stuff because it's mine and I should have control over it. But in reality, how you guys perceive me isn't really all up to me. And like everyone could just have this awful view of me, and like that's just kind of how life is. And even though, yeah, that's not necessarily right, does it happen? Yeah. Do we all try to stop it? I guess. I think maybe we should make strides towards that, but can we actually stop it? And is there rules fully against it? As much as I wish there would be rules,
well, those are the questions that we're challenging viewers with. The scarier half of augmented reality that is very much a concern for some people, and is becoming more of a reality for those who support it. And I'm talking about transhumanism and posthumanism. It's defined as the belief or theory that the human race can evolve beyond its current physical, mental, and emotional limitations, especially by the means of science and technology. It's the idea that as we become more integrated with our technology, it can actually become integrated on a very physical level where, you get limb replacements, cyborgs and stuff, a lot of sci-fi kind of things, but it's becoming much more, realistic.
Yeah.
And some people are all for it. There's the whole H+ movement, which is kind of a affectionate term for the transhumanists who are in total support of this physical augmentation and having computer chips, and implants and all this stuff applied to their bodies very, very physically. It's quite an ethical issue for a lot of people. They a lot of people disagree with that. They think it takes away humanity.
We already have medical implants, and there are already people who like lose a limb or whatever, and they've been able to manage to completely give them that arm back, and they keep getting better and better at integrating that technology with them so they can actually use it and it be less bulky, and they've been doing great things at that. I think that's wonderful. I really like some of the views of integrating like technology with humanity. I just do think there's a caution there of when it takes over the human body and when it's completely replacing.
So the central issue now is that both the opponent and the advocate for transhumanism realize that the actuality of altering the human form is possible, and duplicating the mind is very probable, and that life extension is actually feasible. But is it ethical, is what I'm asking, and what a lot of people are asking.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my goodness. It's like, it's really weird to think that we maybe, I guess we are in a time now where we can do that. That's like crazy. To be honest, I don't really have any thoughts on that. I think a lot of those questions have to do with what is human and what should we do. I think you should definitely talk a little bit more about that. Like, tell me more thoughts about that, because I'm very interested. I want to hear.
Yeah, I think it definitely pushes on the boundaries of humanity and what is human, and that's what a lot of people are asking. Like, does this change humanity, or is this step outside the bounds of what it is to be human? If I am replacing more and more of myself with technology to better interact with the digital world, am I becoming less and less human? Our mind is what makes us truly human, and so when we start altering that, I think that's when we're crossing the line of what it is to be human and be distinct versus just a cog in some great machine. I think it's something definitely to think about. Everyone should think about it. As our technology progresses, and we get closer to this reality, people should have opinions on it. I'm not going to say it's wrong. I'm not going to say it's right. But if you have an opinion about it, stand by it, kind of thing. You gotta be informed.
Yeah, I think that you're right. It's so important that we look into these questions, and it's so important that we continue to ask these things, which is why we're doing this. So, thanks for tuning in. This has been a really fun talk about augmented reality and a lot more. So, if you want to check out more videos on our site, and if you haven't already, go watch the one on virtual reality. Super fun, one of my favorites. And thanks for stopping in.
Yeah. Thank Jesus and Brian.
More technology than went to the moon, ladies and gentlemen.
If I go back to the 1950s and showed up with this, they'd be like, you're a wizard.